hadn't planned to do a brand new video on the Cowboys report this afternoon, but we have to in light of the NFL salary cap news that came across the wire. It is even more good news for the Dallas Cowboys as they continue to have fewer excuses to not spend money. Dan Graziano over at ESPN reporting the NFL informed teams today the 2025 salary cap will be in the range of $277.5 to $281.5 million. That is significantly up from last year's salary cap of $255.4. The cap will have increased by $53 million, somewhere in that ballpark, a little bit more, over the past 2 years. And even better, that projection is higher than all of the other projections that had been out there for the NFL and for the Cowboys and for the salary cap. So if you want the Cowboys to get off their butts and spend some more money, show it. By liking today's video, we can hopefully bully the Cowboys into doing the things we want them to do. I want thousands of people to like today's show, so do it right now for me. Like I mentioned, this is higher than any of the projections that were out there. It came in above what NFL teams were budgeting for, what the salary cap sites had projected, which is based on their conversations with NFL teams. And it's actually back-to-back years now that the salary cap jump has happened at a higher rate than what the NFL teams were accounting for in the end. Jason, over at Over the Cap, had this to say. That salary cap increase beats all but one estimate that we had from some teams. Helpful for the Saints and teams near the bottom, which technically speaking, the Cowboys are at that point for now until they do their obvious restructure stuff we will discuss. This gives the Cowboys more spending power. It gives every NFL team more spending power, but it still frees up more money that's available. Yes, even for Catboy. That honestly should be an additional player you sign in free agency. That's what that difference should be. Even Eric Kendricks level player or a player you re-sign or whatever. Don't fall for the Cowboys pie lie. They will repeatedly and consistently tell us, we have no money, help us, we're poor. It's simply not true. Do not fall for the pie lie. Ignore them. They can spend money, and don't let them tell you otherwise. Don't fall for the propaganda. So I'm going to double down on the bullying the Cowboys on today's show. Asked you to like the video. Same question. If you want the Cowboys to spend more money, type me. If you haven't already liked it, go ahead and do it right now. And also spam me in the comment section. It is the pinned comment, so if that ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage. Head down there, go like and type me right now. The NFL has seen massive growth in the salary cap. 10 years ago, it was growing at around a $10 million clip. That number continues to jump and jump and jump, and it has skyrocketed. Since the COVID drop-off that featured kind of a bit of a stabilization over 2 years, it has gone up to 208, to 224, to 255. The initial projections had 265, 275. That number right there comes from NFL Network. That was the initial projection from Interport Team Pelissaro saying NFL teams are approaching this budget. That is the budget they are currently approaching. 265, 275. That is about what Over the Cap had projected, 272.5. Spotrac was at 275. So the jump to 277.5 to 281.5 is a sizable jump. Depending on what the Cowboys were budgeting for, let's just say it's 270. That's potentially $10 million or more per year. The Spotrac number is still several $1 million. Over the Cap is $5 to $7 million. That benefits the Cowboys in a sizable and significant way. You can't claim you're tight on cap space. You're under the cap right now. You have money. You're going to free up, as we'll get into, a significant amount of money. Yes, you have to pay your own players. Cool. That's fine. The idea that the Cowboys are poor or they can't spend, they're going to be tight against the cap, it is an outright lie. It's not, they don't know what they're talking about. It's that they are lying because they don't want to spend. So don't let them lie. People go, oh, you're acting surprised by it. I'm not acting surprised. I am just calling them out for lying. I refuse to be gaslit at this point. Today's show is made possible by Zbiotics. I don't bounce back the way I used to. I am on the wrong side of 30. I'm up there in age, relatively speaking. By NFL player standards, I'm ancient. I need Zbiotics to help me after a long day of Super Chats. Their pre-alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, Alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. Go to zbiotics.com/chatsports or scan the QR code on screen right now to get 15% off your first order when you use code chatsports at checkout. You can also get a subscription using the code so you can stay prepared for the time or the occasion. They are backed by 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money. No questions asked. Remember, head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code chatsports at checkout for 15% off. A big thank you to Zbiotics for sponsoring this episode and our good times. So I want to run through now what this salary cap change should mean for the Cowboys. And for easy math with the range of outcomes, let's just kind of split the difference. We will start, like Spotrac is doing right now, and I'm assuming, or over the cap, I'm assuming Spotrac will do it as well, with a base cap of $279.5 million. That'll be the flat cap rate for all the different NFL teams as we sit at this current moment. Simple, easy math there. So the current cap space then is $2.47 million. Now that's estimation still. Different sites have different numbers. You can have it be a bit, manipulable. It's just a good starting point. The inevitable Dak Prescott restructure, if this team is remotely serious about even winning 10 games this year, saves you $37.2 million. That is the way the contract is built. That's why the year one cap hit is higher than all the others, because they're just going to restructure the base salary. Duh. Same with CeeDee Lamb. His restructure, which is either simple restructures, doesn't require anything else. It is whenever the Cowboys want to do it, they notify the player, boom, it's done. Saves $20.5 million. Can't do math. That means your bare minimum floor is around $60 million in salary cap space. Minimum amount to spend on your own players, on outside free agents. Before you do anything else, you're already at the top 51 rule, so you're going to save like $1 million each time you sign someone with a new deal anyway. That is the bare minimum. $60 million. That's not nothing. And that is like the easiest things they can do with zero effort required on their parts. Now, we'll get to some other effort things here in a second. But how many free agents do you believe the Dallas Cowboys will end up signing this offseason? I'm talking outside players, not on this roster. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Now, if the Cowboys want to learn from their mistakes, who's to say if they will? They could save $18 million with a Micah Parsons extension. Now, that's the max number. It might not be 18, depending on how big the signing bonus ends up being. Maybe it's only 13, 14. It's a lot of money, though. That's a player or two you can go sign in free agency. Now, if you really want to max out your cap space, you can do more restructures. You can do more cap cuts. And maybe the Cowboys don't do that, and that's fine. I kind of split the difference in the number of Terrence Steele between the pre-June 1st, post-June 1st, and restructure cut. It is the restructure. $9 million if you want to do that path. Trayvon Diggs, his contract's guaranteed. Kind of think you might as well do it anyway. $5 million. You can cut Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, and Damone Clark. It's one of the reasons why he got less cap space than he had when we did this video back in early January. He got playing time incentives, so it's now $3.3 million you save by cutting him. It's kind of a no-brainer. You don't have to make all those moves, and that's fine if you don't. But you can create over $100 million in salary cap space and more if you want to, post-June 1st moves, if you want to cut Malik Hooker or Donovan Wilson after June 1st. It saves you a ton of money. You've got money to spend. Maybe you want to keep a guy like Steele or you want to keep your Steves. That's fine. Maybe it's not $100 million. It's more than enough to actually do stuff in free agency. Now, we broke down some more good Cowboys news earlier today. Some of the stuff is definitely worth mentioning. It's like long-term cap projections, why it will continue to rise. We will have more Cowboys videos for you. Be at the Combine as well this year. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Shout out to Spotrac for these numbers, by the way. The salary cap rises that have gone on over the past couple of seasons. 2022, 12.3%. 2023 was 7.4%. 2024 was 12%. 2025 is going to be 9-ish%. That's several percentage points higher over the all-time average, even with big growths over the past couple of seasons. And I bring this up to say this. It's not going to stop. The salary cap is not going to slow down. You've got, as we mentioned on today's show, you've got more TV money coming in down the line in a couple of years. You got Netflix money. You got all these streaming. I hate the fact that I have to have 4 streaming sites for a playoff game. It's a ton of money. They're paying millions of dollars, 9 figures for this stuff. It's valuable. We will, if those numbers kind of stay on course, we'll be at probably $300 million next year. And then it'll be 325, and then it'll be 350, and then it'll be 400 before you know it. So spend that money. The cap only goes up. Spend it. Be aggressive. Push it off in the future. $1 today is worth far more than $1 tomorrow. It's not like a normal person's bank account where you got to have a paycheck to know it's going to happen. It's going to come. Spend your money like an aggressive team.